Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up if you want. Today, we've got Roaming Rivers returning to the stage over in Tales of Neckbeards, maybe? It's actually from my personal subreddit, r/ReddX reads, Roaming Rivers has been just squeezing his mind 100%, trying to get all of the beard stories out before we finally make this compilation. And this is one that sort of slipped me by just a little bit. It's a continuation of the tales of the three beards, which I probably also need to make a compilation. I don't even know if there's a playlist, but I am going to include those links in the description for you to peruse if you haven't seen all that shenanigans quite yet. But I should mention, we are live streaming this on Twitch. If you'd like to come through and see me, that'd be cool. We'll get some additional plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this r/Tales of Neckbeards cringe. Prison LARPing beards on campus. A spin-off tale from A Tale of Three Beards. Oh, so they just wanted to be prisoners? Really, that's an easy thing to achieve, okay? Just go walk into a convenience store and be like, give me all your money.
Good morning, everyone. Would you be so kind as to give me all your money?
I don't think you even need to hold a pistol or anything like that. You just say, give me all your money, and then the cops show up and they take you away, and then you don't have to LARP anymore. Wouldn't that be nice for you? And the rest of us, I guess, since you're out of society for a while. Hello, ReddX! And the rest of you wholesome community of dysfunctional cringe addicts. I'd say most of us are at least semi-functional, but yeah, hey, user Roaming Rivers, welcome back. Warning, spoilers from the Three Beards saga. If you haven't watched it yet, please don't spoil it for yourself. It really is a great reveal. So please just go check that out. Come on back here. I'm not gonna be mad at you or nothing. So, as always, glad to see this community thrive in our mutual fascination of all things cringe. Yeah, we really haven't pushed the boat out. We've expanded a lot. From neckbeards, to Kevins, to the lowest of incels. It seems like we get a real bag of mixed emotions, experiences, and reactions as we seek out this twisted form of entertainment. Honestly, we've even branched off of Reddit. I've started reaching out into Twitter. I've looked at some TikTok things that we might want to talk about. This channel is growing by leaps and bounds every single day, and I thank you guys so much for being there, supporting the crazy thing that I do. Who would have ever thought that this would work, like as a full-time job? What the hell? That's so crazy. For myself, I've been taking a bit of a break from the storytelling, making money, helping my folks sell the house, join 2 D&D campaigns, as well as doing a bit of short distance roaming when I have the time, seeing new places, meeting new people, really making it a point of view to enjoy what this world has to offer. Honestly, I love that. That ties nicely into my theory that Roaming Rivers is just like a Ramtide alt account or something like that. Although I guess he does more long distance roaming. But if I can help you with the making money thing in any way, please do hit me up. I don't know what I can do necessarily, but my platform is your platform. That is always an open invitation for anybody who's written for the channel. So, not gonna lie, you guessed right, ReddX. I feel like I'm largely tapped out for stories, at least for stories from days gone by. I might have more stories one day, though I sincerely hope that I don't encounter as many beards, Kevins, Karens, and the like anytime soon that warrant a story packed with that all too addictive cringe. Yeah, it's definitely more addictive from like a third person perspective. If I can just watch it unfold, I love it. If I'm involved in the middle of it, I do not love it. Honestly, I think it's a good thing that you're tapped out for stories. You had some catharsis along the way, I do hope. And yeah, I hope you don't encounter any beards in the future. Although if you do, you know the place to talk about it. I'm kind of at that point in my life where I'm trying to build a career in the great outdoors, as well as live a peaceful existence out in the woods. No more conflicts, no more madness, just trying to live quiet, peaceful existence of sobriety and outdoor activities and traveling. Honestly, that sounds so wholesome, and I wish that for you. Personally, it doesn't sound like the life for me. I'm not a very outdoorsy guy, if you didn't know. But yeah, this is enough for some people, and I give a big tip of my hat to those people. It's enough for Ramtide, or at least it was for a while. So do it till it's not fun anymore. Go live in a van down by the river.
And I live in a van down by the river.
However, I've still been following this channel on a regular basis, and I will say I am hooked on the Chris Trucker saga. Hope Mommy Honker Donkers finds a way out of that absolute lunacy. I think everybody loves the Chris Trucker saga. I do not hesitate to say that it's better than any of the top posts of all time in r/Neckbeard story. It is just the best thing that I've ever sunk my teeth into. And I'm glad Mommy Honker Donkers has decided to work with me. You know, every time a new story comes out, it comes across my desk. I'm the one that posts it. I'm the one that embeds a link. And then I break him off for it a little bit. But hey, you know, that's all part of the game. During the time of this writing, I've been taking the time to excavate the catacombs of Memory Lane. Took a lot of work, though a recent cave-in has allowed me to find some documents on 2 particular specimens from days gone by. I hope you like wearing your safety helmet, at least shoring things up, you know? Memory Lane is a dangerous place to just wander down. Don't go down Repression Avenue, please, for God's sake. This might be a heavy one for some folks to process, so I will post some disclaimers down below. I'm also talking about 2 people who are in the grips of addiction issues as well as other underlying factors, so a part of me does feel conflicted in posting this one for fear of punching down. Oh, don't worry about that, Roman Rivers. You can trust me to treat situations with the gravity that they deserve, at least most of the time. I don't know. Most of us here are punching down in some type of way, aren't we? We get at least like some form of catharsis by looking at beards, but there's also, you know, the wholesome episodes where I'm like, hey, this beard, he's doing all right. He's trying his best, and that's all I ask. I hope you are past that 2-minute mark, ReddX. Oh, come on. You know me by now. I could take 3 sentences and turn it into 2 minutes at the least. Probably turn it into 5 minutes. Warning, also spoilers from the 3 Beard saga as mentioned. Seriously, go watch it. Don't spoil it for yourself. Go watch that first. And of course, trigger warnings. Yes, there's a lot of trigger warnings there, and I'm kind of scared to talk about them out loud, honestly. If you'd like to take a glance at the screen and check it out, then yeah, it is a laundry list, but I'm not touching on it, honestly. Some bad stuff goes on, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. This tale could be considered a spin-off of the 3 Beard saga about 2 particular beards from the days where I was known as Whiskey Beard. See, that's the big reveal. If you didn't watch it before, then you already ruined it for yourself. One of the 3 infamous beards in that nightmare of a suite, where there were at least 2 more beards on that college campus, ones who were just as foul in all their beardiness. God, foul is just the best word. Keep in mind, this is a one-off tale, as well as some of the finer details might be a little bit incomplete, as I was not the most mentally stable of people in those days, and many folks are reluctant to talk about these 2 beards, even to this day. Well, that is quite foreboding, isn't it? Do they really have everything on lock? Like, I heard you was talking about me, dog. Something like that. I'm like, bro, we're pushing 40. Why don't you just pack it in? If you were really a gangster, I don't think you would have made it out of your 20s. If you were really that gangster, right? Maybe it's time to pack it in. Maybe it's time to admit to me and yourself that you just ain't as hardcore as you thought you were. But whatever. So for now, feel free to take a seat in the discount time machine. Fasten your seatbelts. I'm not getting sued again. Yeah, if you use the other thing, Ethan Ralph is fat is gonna come in here and he's gonna be like, what? That's the thing I made up. I get it. You gotta be careful in these days and times. Copyright is totally a thing. And pour yourself a drink as I take you back in time to the dark days of Whiskey Beard. Oh no, here we go. OP is reverting back to beard status. But I do appreciate that somewhat. This, as mentioned earlier, is a tale of two beards known as Dealerbeard and Snowbeard. Yeah, that's different from Snowman. God, I miss Snowman. What happened to that saga? I need it to get wrapped so I can compile it. But yes, already I can guess what these two beards are about. Probably not even guesswork. It's just confirmed by the name at this point. Now the cast, OP, aka Whiskey Beard, a borderline functional alcoholic, dressed like a skinhead with the behavior and reasoning skills of a Tasmanian devil, powered by cheap liquor. One of several party animals on campus. Party demon, whoa! What's your cheap liquor of choice? I like some of that $5 handle of vodka, that Popov, right? It only makes you feel sick for a few days after. Bookworm is probably one of the few people who can at least direct OP away from creating more carnage. A very well-read person, like a walking library on a manner of topics, and maybe one of the few rational people on this campus. Was roommates with Dealerbeard for at least a portion of this tale. Still a great friend of mine to this day, as we reconnected after I'd been sober for a few years. Honestly, you can feel good about a person that likes books. If you read books, I feel like I could trust you, at least on some level. Dealerbeard was the head devil's lettuce dealer on campus at the time, as well as was branching out into some other illicit sales. A slightly overweight African-American guy in his early 20s with a thick beard covering his chin and neck. He was on dealing terms with OP, even smoked together a few times with groups, though we didn't hang out outside of these few interactions. Extremely homophobic to the point of quoting the Bible a few times on the matter, which is relevant later. Honestly, it's pretty weird that that would even come up. Like, you're getting blazed or whatever, and he's like, you know what the Bible says, bro? Why are you telling me about this? What do you, huh? Excuse me? Just sell me a bag and get the hell out of my house. Thanks. Snowbeard is a scrawny white kid from an extremely privileged background. Like to claim that he grew up in the housing projects, man. Yeah, who's buying that? Even though people came from his hometown that also attended the college, and they would openly state that Snowbeard grew up in a mansion. He came from real old money. He was the kind of guy that if you handed him a shovel, he would say, "Man, I don't do manual labor." He would say, "Huh, I don't do manual labor," in a very stuck-up tone. He also was very outwardly homophobic, regularly throwing around very derogatory language and then saying, "It's just a joke," when he got called out. Honestly, why didn't Dealerbeard get called out on stuff like this? We're like, oh no, it's part of that's their culture. No, dude, it's the current year. It's not gonna be acceptable. Please just don't bring it up. Those are the kind of thoughts that I really would encourage you to keep inside. Please and thank you. Snowbeard would dress in expensive Gucci clothes every single day, snapbacks, Jordans, and spoke solely in Ebonics. Yeah, dog. A very volatile personality, as well as all around incredibly entitled. I gave him the name Snowbeard because he could never get enough of that booger sugar, that nose candy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, bro, you ever have a weekend out in the 80s and then you eat your boogers the next day and your tongue goes all numb and you're like, oh yeah, I remember what I did. Oh, it's funny. But anywho, now on to the tale I'll be going back to the numbers format for this one. So ReddX, you'll be getting your breaks from the reading back. God, you're such a beautiful person, Roaming Rivers. I love this numbers format, if you didn't know, because it gives me like a point where I should stop. Like, hey, here's number 1. And I'm like, here's my thoughts on number 1, number 2, etc., etc. Number 1, fun time with Droogs. As aforementioned, big aspect of these two beards was their involvement in the scene. The illicit substances scene, both on and off campus. I would buy some of that good old devil's lettuce off Dealerbeard a few times, paying up front in cash. I mean, I don't know any dealer that lets you buy on credit. That would be wild. I also went through a brief phase where I would pay my dealers with Chinese food, a practice that some appreciated, though Dealerbeard turned down the offer with a chuckle the one time that I offered. I mean, how much Chinese food? Because if I'm getting $20 worth of Chinese food for like a Grambo or something like that, I don't know. Maybe I would take you up on that. Especially if you're partaking in your own supply. I got the munchies, bro. When it came to Snowbeard, he would walk around campus in an altered mental state on a regular basis, sometimes being outwardly hostile. The longer I knew him, he just seemed to look worse and worse, with those sunken eyes, jacked up teeth, and he even smelled foul in class a few times. This also probably played a large part in his tendencies to commit violent acts. Honestly, to me, Dealerbeard seems like he has it together somewhat. I mean, it's not obviously the way that most people would choose to live their life, but he's got somewhat of a job. As far as Snowbeard goes, yeah, he's just a mess. And he's got the money to be a mess, so I don't think anybody can tell him differently. Hopefully at some point his family would notice. They'd be like, hey man, maybe chill out with all that stuff. But I don't think he's gonna listen, honestly. Kids that grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth, come on, man. They've either got to experience like a terrible thing to turn them around, or they just hit rock bottom and never come back. And I know what probably happened to Snowbeard. I'm taking bets at the most. Point 2 is felonies galore. Oh, so they're not like just LARPing prison beards. They actually did some time. Is that what I'm hearing? These outwardly violent acts were committed by Snowbeard. Snowbeard got himself kicked off campus at least once for punching out 2 female classmates. Bruh, you gotta come after women? Yeah, scrawny little dude like that. God damn. I hate him. I hate him. Dealerbeard, I'll give him a pass so far, but this dude, Jesus. First the coke is drilling holes in your brain, and now you're out here punching out chicks? God. While this would have gotten most kids expelled, Snowbeard was back on campus next semester. Keep in mind, he also had a stash on his persons when he was detained by the cops for these 2 assaults. Jesus, dude. He really must have just a ridiculous amount of money. That is so insane to me. You got enough money, you could basically run somebody over with their car and they're like, oh, we just need 30 days in rehab and then make an apology to the family. Are you serious? He's never gonna learn. He's never gonna learn. Snowbeard would then brag about how his parents would pay off the school so he could keep coming back. There was one time where Bookworm was chilling out in his room one day, and Snowbeard came a-knocking, looking for some of that booger sugar. During this incident, Dealerbeard had gone home for the weekend. Through the door, their conversation went a little something like this. Snowbeard, hey, Dealerbeard, I need a hit, man. You got any of that stuff? Bookworm, trying to study, get lost. Dealerbeard went home for the weekend. Snowbeard, come on, man. I just need one hit, man, please. Bookworm, I told you he isn't here. Yeah, I mean, this is something that has addictive properties, and I wouldn't put it past Snowbeard for this situation to get real ugly real fast. Why you only got 1 connect also, if you're really that into it? You could go find somebody else. Go to a local club and walk up and say, hey man, you party? Do you party, bro? I had at least 3 different people at 2 different jobs ask me if I party. At the gas station, at Radio Shack, they'd come in like late night as hell. They'd just be like, let me talk to you about something, bro. And they'd go off for like 30 minutes and you're just standing there like, okay, buy something, please. And then at the end, they're like, here's my cell phone number. Do you party? And I'm like, are you hitting on me right now? And then my coworker was like, I think he wants to sell you something. I'm like, oh, okay. What an innocent young man I was back then. Good Lord. So of course, it was at this point that Snowbeard tried to break down the door, screaming profanities and death threats at Bookworm. Bookworm called campus safety, and Snowbeard was removed from the dorm building by force. Oh God. At least he wasn't holding at that time, I guess. Not that it really would have mattered, but it would have been like a nice extra payday for campus security. Hey, don't report this to anybody. I'll give you $500. And he's like, okay, I didn't see anything. There was even a time where Snowbeard literally carjacked another student on campus. As in, pulled the kid out of the other student's car and tried to drive away. Bro really living like it's Grand Theft Auto out here. I don't have any explanation for what's happening right now. Maybe Rick James has an explanation.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Every single time he committed these illegal acts, he was right back on campus next semester. That is fascinating to me, honestly. How much money does it take to just buy somebody's soul? Yeah, this guy's a threat to all the other students on the campus, but he gives us lots of money though. What does it cost? What does it cost to do whatever the hell I want on your campus? Just give me a number. I'll write you a check and then you leave me alone. He's really like less beard and more just psychopath who needs Jesus in his life. But given my very loose specifications for what a neckbeard is, delusions of grandeur, check. Although that's probably mostly the coke. Sense of entitlement, yeah, definitely. So while not purebred neckbeard, I'd say neckbeardy enough. So 3 is prison LARPing. Oh God. Yep, here we go. Despite both of these beards being homophobic in their own right, they did have a sexual relationship. What? It was just transactional behind the love dumpster. You gotta understand, I really needed a bump. Yeah, instead of a bump, you got a little bit of bump and grind, right? Ooh. In the context that Snowbeard would perform favors for Dealerbeard in exchange for his substances. Yeah, exactly how I saw this one going. It even got to the point where Dealerbeard would sometimes have Snowbeard hang on to one of his Dealerbeard's belt loops as they walked around campus, with Snowbeard being led along like a prison. Bro, what? Are you serious? Why? What is the point of this? I guess there's like a little degradation type of thing that's going on. They gotta be both into it, at least on some level. God, this is morbidly fascinating. So yeah, it was an open secret that Dealerbeard would exchange favors from drugs from girls, as well as guys hooked on coke when they didn't have enough money to pay for the drugs. There was even one time in particular where me and Bookworm were reading comics in his dorm room when Dealerbeard walked in, followed by a very quiet Snowbeard, and the conversation went a little something like this. Dealerbeard, hey Bookworm, I'm gonna need the room for an hour. Bro, this is, like they said prison LARPing, I wasn't expecting all this. This is terrible. Oh, Bookworm just says nothing. He gets up, motioning for me to follow. As we're getting up to leave, Dealerbeard calls out to me. Hey, I got that strain that you and your boys wanted, Whiskey Beard. Hit me up later. Whiskey Beard, as I'm picking up my comics to take with me. Yeah, thanks, Dealerbeard. I got the money. Dealerbeard turns to Snowbeard. Get out of the bed. Start getting that shirt off. Jesus, dude. What? No! Oh! At what point does it come to this? I must ask. I'm terrified, bro. Why? Why? Dealerbeard sneered and licked his teeth. Snowbeard complied pretty quickly, almost like a scared rabbit. Shortly after this, Bookworm and I left the room, and I can only really assume what happened after we left. Yeah, I'm probably not even gonna make any guesses as to what happened. It's pretty obvious what happened, but I do appreciate that cinematography, that classy fade to black as all this is happening. This does explain a lot of Snowbeard's violent outbursts and stuff like that, but I don't know, man. You sort of did this to yourself. You dug your own grave. You can consider going to rehab or something like that. You know, get yourself out of a situation this terrible. Did his parents like cut him off? That's why he doesn't have the money, right? If he was really old money, then he wouldn't have any issues. He'd just keep paying and paying, and he wouldn't have to do stuff like this. There's something deeper to the story here. I just don't know if I want to actually know all about it. 4. The inevitable fall from Beardy Grace. Yeah, those are two words that should not go next to each other, right? Though, like all beards, the presence of these two did not last forever. Keep in mind that this is really only a rough description of what went down, put together from details that I picked up from various people within those circles. Over time, Dealerbeard had built himself an empire on campus, going as far as referring to himself by a title similar to a king. How much booger sugar was Snowbeard buying throughout this? And what was Dealerbeard spending it all on? Really, he could have just like put you through college, bought you a nice car and stuff, got your life set off on the right path. But I guess as we've seen in Breaking Bad, people just don't know when to call it quits. You know, I like to think that, oh, I'd make this amount of money and I'd get out, but it's never the case, man. It's always about more, isn't it? Sad. Sad. Dealerbeard even had other students working for him as small-time dealers, being the main connect for a big-time dealer off campus. However, this proved to be his downfall. Oh, did he get rolled over on or something? Because yeah, more small-time dealers, if you don't trust them especially, that could be a rather large problem. 2 of the small-time dealers managed to work out a business arrangement with Dealerbeard's main supplier, cutting Dealerbeard out of business by selling stuff at cheaper prices. And soon, his empire crumbled. Why would you ever tell them who you're working with? And yeah, if this happens, then you really gotta be prepared to like do some drastic stuff, which Dealerbeard might. The crumbling of his empire did not sit well with Dealerbeard. In the end, he ended up getting very drunk one night and set fire to several shower curtains in one of the dorm's bathroom. Oh, that's not the sort of drastic action that I meant, but okay, good. At least you're not hurting anybody but yourself with stuff like that. What the hell? Thankfully, no one was killed during this event, as the combination of the ceramic tiling, some brave soul turning several showers on, and the fire department responding swiftly prevented any major spread of the fire. I want to be sort of surprised that shower curtains can even light on fire, but I guess plastic is oil-based. I suppose it could go up pretty quickly. For this most stupid action, the school and the local courts threw the book at Dealerbeard. Well, at least he doesn't have to LARP about prison anymore. In addition to being expelled, he was brought up on multiple charges of attempted murder and received 25 to life in prison. I mean, with overcrowding, you'll be out in about 15, but ugh, that is one life ruined. Ruined! 25 years? Oh my God. I have to presume that just wasn't for setting the curtains on fire, right? They found out about the whole empire business, right? Bro, if you could get 25 years for setting curtains on fire. I lit a couch on fire when I was 15. I should absolutely be in jail for that. Even to this day, I guess. What the hell? Oh, for Snowbeard, he eventually left campus for good. I ended up having to do a bit more digging to find out what happened to him, though even with this, some details are probably still missing. Turns out, shortly after Dealerbeard's downfall, Snowbeard met a girl in a bar. Great, it's romance blossoming. They got into a relationship, sleeping together, drinking together, getting high together, and at some point Snowbeard cheated on her, which she dropped the truth bomb that she was below the age of consent, having used a fake ID to get into bars. That's a rough one, dude. Like, you kind of want to be mad at him, but yeah, she's the one that was lying about it. So I wouldn't pull a conviction on this one. If I was sitting on the jury, I'd be like, if anything, she's the one that should be punished for this, right? After this happened, Snowbeard just vanished into thin air, never to be seen again. Whether he went to prison or his parents forced him into rehab or into hiding, I honestly have no idea. In the end, I'll look back on these two with disdain, even though I will admit I was not a saint myself in those days. One was a strangely homophobic predator and tried to burn down a building full of people. While the other was a spoiled brat who hid behind his parents' money, getting away with all manner of crimes. Yeah, they are both terrible. Which one is more terrible? I mean, I have an answer, but I don't want to throw that out there. They both fall on the bad side of good, and that's all that matters. I have no idea where they are in life now, and honestly, I don't care. So that concludes our journey back in time to that spin-off of A Tale of Three Beards. We're now back in the present. You can undo your seatbelts and step outside the time machine. Okay, but I got one more thing to do.
All right, Adolf Hitler.
Take all the time you need to process this tale of cringe in the comments below. Also, if I am indeed punching down, feel free to roast me in the comments. You are not punching down. These people were punching down. You got Dealerbeard taking advantage of addicts and Snowbeard taking advantage of everybody. I don't feel the least bit bad for him. And they got their comeuppance, so good. Hopefully for now, this concludes the stories that I have to offer the ReddX community. For now, I'm content to sit back and watch the content of our other writers. ReddX, feel free to work on some of those compilations. Oh, whoa, you coming at me like that. Yeah, I will. As soon as YouTube gets off my back, bro, I'm totally gonna get some compilations up. Those are the biggest performers for the channel, and I do need to get some up. But right now, it's just, yeah, it's difficult. I can't keep them monetized to save my life. Anyways, with that, as always, peace. Honestly, both of these two dudes just 100% despicable. I hate everything about them, but the best part of the story is at the end, where everybody gets their comeuppance. I mean, Snowbeard did kind of disappear, but yeah, if you've got enough money, things like that'll happen. It's like, oh no, he's being prosecuted. Let's send him to Bermuda. And he just never comes back again. Snowbeard definitely did deserve a bit more of a comeuppance. Dealerbeard, I would argue, got way too much of a comeuppance, but you know, I'm not the judge in any of these cases. It is kind of what it is, and you gotta just take it with a grain of salt and go, okay, great. It's a story that happened, and it got shared with us, and it was a little bit, I don't know, skeezy in parts, but that's what college is all about, right? A little bit of experimentation, right? Either with booger sugar or gay sex, I guess. Take your pick. Good God. Usually they go hand in hand. If y'all remember the 80s. No, I don't remember the 80s. The last thing that I got to say about this is that I have to believe deep in my heart that eventually Snowbeard will meet Snowman. He'll go feet to Jesus and everything will be right with the world. I do hope you enjoyed this episode, friends. If you did, I hope that you'll like, comment, and or subscribe. You know what I'm saying? It's super important. Maybe share the video around. That's pretty important too, honestly. Check out our links in the description. Plugs, playlist, podcast. You know what it is. Spotify, iTunes, Teespring, if you're trying to rock the merch. If you didn't know, we also live stream this whole thing on Twitch during like a 12-hour live stream, doing lots of subathon stuff for September. So we're going to do that again at the very end of the month. Come through and see me if you'd like. We've also got other social medias, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, etc. I'd also like to thank my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous channel members and Patreon patrons, as I do every episode, Jerry much so. Thank you too.
Dazzle Misery, Skylar Rain, The Fez Waiter, That One Gay Cop, Valley Eye Crane, Sheeza, Rosie Rainbow, Slow Spooner, Sean Campbell, Heaven Sent, Robert Thibodeau, Jackie McQuitty, Grim Stride, Trainboy, AJ Collins, The Tiny Boy, Toothplushy, Corey Arts, Kelly Clark, Legolas, Loser, Florentic Waver, Dungeon Bat, Billy D, Robert Waits, Brandon Ashcraft, John Endorse, Phantom Danica, Origami Steve, Skylar May, Amara, The Gypsy Barber, Fire Drake, Samantha, Dex Flagship, The Bearded Snake, and buy two, get one hand. Heading over to Patreon, we've got Miss Black, Harley Hohen, Robert Allen Waits, again, Camille Sarah, Chance with Blue Kraken, Roxanne Wolf, Sim, Jerry Conrad, Ingy Fluxer, I Need Coffee, Yummy Poo, Captain Cloud Jerry, Ellipses, Aaron Jerry, Deku, Esteban, Origami Steve, Santa Jerry, Silent Revolver, PCB, The Original Jerry, Ravencraft, Hamodius, The Fourth, Tick Jerry, Destiny Piper, Jerry, Kitsune, Salty Wizard, A Very Tired Jerry, feel that too, that's why I need a coffee, Justy Jargonia Jerry, and Frankenberry, ain't that hide bitch though, Assassin Pug Jerry, Baby Jerry, Bailey Joy, Peter Jerry, Benji and the Jets, Billy D, Bitch Gremlin, Blade Hero, Brown Dragon, Commander J Tank, Dr. Lux, Aaron Era, Esports, Rose Never Studio, Fire Drake, Gizmo Jack, Hadrian BR, Inquisitor Jerry, Irish Pirate, Lust the Blue Marble in a Mutiny, oh tragic, Iron Olive, Radiant Jam, JM Coon, Jerry Smith, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Outlaw, Mother Trunker, Honk Honk, Jerry, I'm begging you, please don't take my beard. What? Jerry, wake up! I don't like this, Jerry, wake up! What is happening right now? John Hero, Crew, Cuddly Kraken, Lady Italian Greyhound, Dino, Lady in Awakening, Lauren Crow, Legitimate Girth, Miss Monday, Lord Jerry, Luca Vex was a race car driver. He was a good friend of mine. Never did win that checkered flag, but I helped him drink his wine. Like and subscribe, my Lady Nix, Melgar the Destroyer, Metal Flector, Needless King 89, Paragon Soul, Phantom of the Pines, Jerrykins, and Jerry Beth, Queens, Quaaludes, and Quagmires, Ram Todd, Lacrimates, Rose Jerry Miller, Sarita the Lolita, Scarlet Scoven, Sergeant Gay Cop, Bringer of the Law, Silo Imp, Steve Bugelli, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tomato, Tabby of the Blue, the Gypsy Barber, the Littlest Who what's your fusky? This isn't even my final beard. Trying to find another Bob to get back in the real world. Vanguard Angel, VC3, Viking Jerry, Void the Comet Destroyer, Wiki Tech, Zephyr the Gargoyle, or Clay, Comrade Mooney, Kira, not another Jerry, but he is though, Cage Alex 9, Redwind, Bad Penny Lane, Not the Viper, Saints Blessing, Third Stuff, Venom Jerry, Jace Richardson, One Leg Jerry has returned from battle. Salute to you. A normal Jerry. All right, Red. For you, I bring Doritos, but I count on your expertise if they attract beards. Yeah, no one's good. We'll chase him off with soap. Admiral T-Take, Amber Alder, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry Sailor, Breaker of the Tom Army, Bartender Kelia, Big Dad Wolf, Broken Spine Horseradish, Cake Jerry, the original different Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Chevron 7 Lock, Chicago Panda, Corey does art sometimes, Cowbug and Cody, Cryptides, the Fawn Jerry, Defty Tuna, Dilf Jerry, Dwarfy Dude, Dwarven Ramsey, half the calories, all of the hate. Ghost of Alpha, Greymon 365, Heek Knot, Hydra Jerry, Solman, Janitor Jerry, roaming the streets of Finland, Jasmine, Jeffy, Geralt of Arabia, Jerry, but with two S's and an E, Jerry Springer, the results are in, you are not the Neckbeard, Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom has got it going on, check out the mustache on Jerry Aldo Rivera, Jerry Rocksters, Jerry Role-Playing Game, Keaton Tails, Kid Marvelous, Kids Again, Lucha Lovecraft, Machia CD, maybe next time Milkfed give Miss Duchess, Mr. Gas Mask, not Invisible Angel, Raptor Arc, Seldom Dark, Skybar, Ravenswood, Smegma Male Pride Set Jerry, and getting that cheese. God. Thanks, I hate it. Snary, that's Snob Jerry, Spoonie the Rogue, Spoopy Scary, Jerry Ton, all your season is coming up soon, Techno Dubs, the original Jerry, they call me Jerry Two Knives, Jerry Pie, Do It for the Jerry and Beyond, Tokyo Bird, Unkale, Vaughn, throws 2 liter Mountain Dew, grow my Neckbeard, grow. It's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher, Hygiene, it's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher, Humility, and thank you to my gorgeous $1 patrons as well.
Bless up to all the Jerrys and not Jerrys alike. Thank you guys so much for being you, helping out the channel. If you can afford to support monetarily, that is huge. If you can't afford to do it, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. Would you do that for me? Could you have a great day? Could you do that for me? As always, always remember, friends, you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, friends, bye-bye.